morning and welcome to Today in L.A. That's Lower Alabama, coming to you from our studios on South Brundage Street in Troy, Alabama, Channel 2 on your local dial, and ladies and gentlemen, on your Facebook dial and YouTube dial across the state, across the nation, and across the world. You're coming live on Troy Cablevision, Troy, Alabama. Hope you had a great weekend. It's been a beautiful weekend. And, of course, temperature is a little cool out there, but really funny. Going to have a little cool temperatures, and it's going to warm up. And then by the middle of the week, more cold weather starts coming in here. So we're going to be up and down, but it's going to be wonderful. And, of course, we had a great weekend. Huge softball tournament held at the Trojan softball complex this weekend. Alabama showed its class. They won every game they played, including a couple of big games over Troy. The Alabama pitcher and the Troy pitcher both had no hitters going through 3 innings, but Alabama erupted in their part of the 4th inning to go away with the win, and of course they pretty much won that tournament. Troy, though, played well. They were 3-2 in the tournament, and played real good. And they'll be on the road to down to the middle of the week. We'll be heading to Orlando for a lot of softball action. So. Softball season is on and running at Troy University, so we'll be watching that closely. And a lot of the high schools get started this week or the end of this week. Basketball tournaments going strong as we start today with some tournaments that will be affecting local teams. Let's look at them this morning. Tonight. That is tonight. The girls from Charles Henderson will be playing the girls from Valley. Charles Henderson will be the host. So the girls 23-6, led by their All-American. I don't know about her status tonight, if Davenport will be able to play. Great article, though, in the Dothan Eagle about her, and of course we won't know until I'm thinking that she's going to play, and if she plays, she's eligible up until they rule her ineligible to play. We're talking about Amari Davenport, the 6'4" guard or 6'4" center for Charles Henderson, one of the top players in the state of Alabama, if not the top player, and one of the top players in the nation. Is trying to get her eligibility back. Well, she's eligible up until now. Court rulings prove that, and hopefully there'll be a decision come down before the state tournament in Birmingham. Of course, right now they've got to win some games, and one of them is against a pretty good team out of Valley, Alabama. Valley always has good teams, and they'll be playing Charles Henderson again tonight at 6 o'clock from the gym at Charles Henderson High School. The boys, who are playing very good basketball right now, will host Tallahassee at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. So. That will be a big sub-regional game, and hopefully Troy can get by, or Charles Henderson can get by in that game and go on to the regions. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, morning.
Where you coming from, sir?
Grayton Beach, Florida.
Grayton Beach, Florida. Boy, that's a nice place to be calling from. Is it pretty down there?
Yeah, it's been real pretty all weekend, actually. Sun and a little bit of clouds, but no rain, so we've been very blessed.
Is the sun up right now? Is it sunshiny down there?
It's a little overcast this morning.
Yeah. But the sun is not shining?
No, not yet.
Okay. Of course, what's new with you? Of course, we've got a lot of basketball tournaments going on this week. We're excited about that. And,
yeah, what's the latest on the Charles Henderson girls and boys?
Well, right now, the Charles Henderson girls will be playing for the sub-regional championship tonight when they play Valley, and that's a 6 o'clock game. Carol Bozark playing at Brubaker. Those winners will advance to the regions. And of course, Charles Henderson boys play tomorrow night against Tallahassee. That's a 6 o'clock game. And Mike, I tell you, Coach Doug Branson has done a super job with Charles Henson's boys.
Yeah, I mean, he's won close to 20 games, I guess.
Yeah, he sure has. He's a heck of a coach.
First season, yeah, it's done really well. So will all these games be in Troy, or where will they be played?
Yeah, the boys and the girls' games will be played in Troy, so very good to have home court advantage here. And Charles Henderson,
that is nice.
And Charles Henderson, buddy, is a home court advantage. I'm telling you, they bring a crowd.
Of course, the girls, are pretty much unstoppable probably until they get to the Final Four. But the really amazing story of somehow the Charles Henderson boys got to the Final Four.
Oh yeah, no question about it. And Coach Doug Branson.
I guess the only time I saw him play was against Enterprise. So I guess that was just a poor
They played
performance.
terrible against Enterprise. You're right, and that same Enterprise team is in the tournament too. So we'll be watching them. But
of course, I saw you yesterday down at the beach, and we had a wonderful lunch at Dusty's.
Yeah, but that's
I
just too
could probably only
fried.
eat there about once a month because it's so much fried food. I don't know if I can handle it.
That is just too fried for me, man. I'm telling you. I want to mention
shrimp and a pound of crab claws, and a pound of onion rings, and a pound of pickles, and it's a lot.
I know, no question about it. Want to mention Enterprise will play Central of Phoenix City girls. That action is on Thursday, and all of this is played at the multiplex at Crampton Bowl. Want to mention Enterprise's boys who are playing very good. They play like I said, they play in Central of Phoenix City, and the winner Enterprise will play the winner of the Central Phoenix City Smith Station game. So that game will be played on on Thursday. So we'll be watching that closely.
A big win yesterday by the Birmingham Iron. They beat the Memphis Express 26-0. Trent Richardson scored a couple touchdowns late, but there is I guess somewhat of a pro football team in Birmingham again.
What kind of crowd was it, Mike?
What?
What kind of crowd they have?
They had about 20,000.
Well, good. And how many games scheduled do they play?
They play 8 games, so there's 7 left. They played Memphis yesterday, and former Troy quarterback Brandon Silvers did not play. He's behind Hackenberg that played at Penn State, and then also they have Mecklenburger that played at LSU in Georgia.
Yeah.
Are also quarterbacks on that team. So I don't know if Brandon will be able to play that much or not. We'll see.
Well, I tell you, I hope they'll give him a chance. No question about it.
Well, they ought to give him a chance considering Hackenberg threw for 87 yards yesterday, and they scored no points. You would think they'd try a new quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. But they won the game, though, didn't they?
Yeah, Birmingham Iron won 26-0. Led on defense, listen to this, by Jonathan Massaquoi that played at Troy.
Oh,
All
yeah.
Massaquoi did yesterday was have 8 tackles, 4 for loss, and 2 sacks.
Isn't that great? Were they playing linebacker or where were they playing? Defensive end?
No, he's playing linebacker.
Huh. That's great. He was a good player at Troy, I know that.
He played in pros for 4 years.
Who did he play with? Minnesota?
No, Atlanta Falcons.
Well, that's good to see him do real well. No question about it.
But I mean, he's an older guy. He's close to 30.
Well, that's good. Did they pay him pretty good salaries?
They pay him, I think, 2-year contracts worth $250,000.
Yeah. Okay. I was looking at the Pebble Beach pro golf tournament.
That was one of the more interesting stories you'll ever see in golf yesterday. Mickelson wants to finish because, I mean, he's on fire. He's 6 under. Paul Casey didn't want to finish because of the fact he was playing in a pro-am, and they were winning the pro-am, and he felt bad for the CEO of FedEx that they were going to have to play a couple holes in the dark. And, of course, he had been playing all bad all day, even though he was in second place. And Mickelson was furious on 17, wanting to tee off and finish. But, I mean, it was almost pitch black dark.
They
got to come out. They got to come out open to the public, free golf.
Free golf.
To Pebble Beach today and play 17 and 18.
Oh, no.
And if Mickelson wins, it'll be the 5th time winning Pebble Beach and also his 44th career PGA victory.
Where did he stand? How did, because the guy from England was leading by 5 or 6 strokes at one time.
No, Mickelson was up by 3 strokes.
When? Yesterday?
Yeah, he's up by 3 with 2 holes to play.
Oh, man, that means Casey must have really blown it. Yeah, he must have really blown it.
Yeah, he's blown it a lot. He never really holds leads. Everybody thought that Mickelson would maybe catch him. But Mickelson, it was dark, and he was just putting the ball and hitting just amazing shots. I mean, you could tell he was just jacked up, wanting to win again. Of course, he won last year, too, and came in second already in this first event.
I was watching it late last night, and like I do a lot of times, fell asleep. But that was a good tournament to watch last night. They showed the entire tournament until the rain got it. But so it was rain that stopped it, or darkness?
Darkness.
Okay. It was too dark to play then. And you said Mickelson wanted to play, and the other guy didn't want to play?
Your favorite actor, Clint Eastwood, was in the box saying, I would keep on playing.
Yeah. How old is Clint now?
85, I think.
God, I thought he was older than that. I tell you what, he is by far my favorite actor, and anything he plays in, I want to watch.
Yeah, I want to go see that new movie he was in called Mule.
I saw that. I've seen that. It was good. You know what he does that more, I don't know if people notice this or not. I'm sure they do, though. A lot of the people that are with him in the picture, that have roles in the picture, are some of the same people that have had roles in a lot of his pictures on down the line. Did you realize that?
Yeah, they mentioned
88. Hey, Steve just told me that he was 88. Steve, one other quick question. Did you get one this weekend?
Nope.
All right, so you went hitless this weekend for deer hunting. Did any of your people get one?
Well, we had plenty of opportunities. They just wanted a big buck.
Oh, really? You mean you saw him, you say, well, I don't want him, and I don't want him. You mean it's that way now?
Yeah.
If you want to, let's just say you want to put something in the freezer, you could have gotten one. Is that right?
Yeah.
How about turkey season? When does it start?
April 15th.
April 15th?
March 15th.
Well, March 15th.
March 15th through April 15th.
Okay. And those crazy folks be out there. Are turkey hunters the most avid hunters out there?
Pretty much, yeah. They dedicated.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, that's an exciting time for hunters in this part of the country. Turkey season.
If anybody wanted to kill a deer on 98, they could have yesterday. I saw about at least 40 on both sides of the road.
Well, you know what? They're feeding them with all this ryegrass. They're feeding those deer.
I know.
Well, I'm glad to see old Mickelson play well. So he's leading right now and should win. Is that right?
Well, I mean, you can always choke. I mean, he's got a 3-shot lead. I mean, it basically comes down to if Casey comes out and birdies both holes, and then Mickelson bogeys one. Next thing you know, you're in the playoffs.
I was with.
I will say 18's a par 5 though.
Yeah. Boy, he's been playing good golf, honey. How old is he?
He's about to be 49.
So he's really playing well right now, isn't he?
It's really funny, though. Late in rounds now, he starts chewing gum.
Why? Wait a minute now. What's the big deal about that?
Well, I mean, he never was a gum chewer, I was a kid, but I guess he gets nervous and starts rounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't help but be tickled about this. Say that again. Please say that again.
What? That late in the round, he starts chewing gum? He starts snacking on gum because he's nervous?
Yeah. Who in the world would have picked that up? They didn't say anything about that on TV, did they?
No, I mean, I've just noticed it. I've watched him play.
Are you serious?
I've never seen him, have a wad
Ladies
of gum
and gentlemen, the big news out of California, ladies and gentlemen, and the great Pebble Beach Classic is that Phil Mickelson starts chewing gum in later rounds now. That is unreal. Of course, Mike, you reckon you know that he had never done that before?
I've never seen it, and I've watched him, I would say more than anybody in the day. I watch him all the time, he's my favorite player.
Yeah. And, well, I hope he'll win, and that's a big win if he does, isn't it?
I tell you what, he better win. If you lose a tournament up by 3 strokes with 2 holes to play, you've really done something bad.
All right, who is it behind him right now?
Paul Casey, and then this guy named Scott Stallings already posted 15 under.
Oh, Stallings is the one that hits it so far, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a guy out of Tennessee.
Isn't he the guy that hits it further than anybody on the tour?
No, that's Gary Woodland hits it farther.
Oh, Woodland, okay. I was thinking Stallings and Woodland. That's what I was thinking. Steve Stricker did not finish, and he was playing pretty good golf on the weekend.
Well, on the seniors tour, longer one again. I mean, he's just age-defying. I think he's like 61, 62.
He's a great
Still
guy.
beats a bunch of guys in their 50s.
And a super guy. I met him at the tournament in Birmingham this past summer, and he's one of the. I could have talked to him probably for 30 minutes if I wanted to. I mean, he's just so nice and he's so classy, and a lot of people. He's one of the favorites out there, especially in that league they play in.
I was watching it the other day, and you're getting more and more guys that are really good on the regular tour. Like Retief Goosen is now 50, and he won 2 majors. And I mean that age group is starting to get more and more competitive players.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard for.
You know what they ought to do? You know what they ought to do? They ought to go back now and do a 50s to 60s group. Something like that be more.
Yeah, but
competitive.
you want to see like Tom Watson. I mean, some of those Hill Aaron and some of those guys still play.
Yeah. Of course, Pebble Beach is the most beautiful golf course in the world, I would say. Wouldn't you think?
Hands down. I mean, we saw it in a rainstorm one day, and it was still beautiful.
Well, talking about that.
When you watch that on television, and see those. I mean, those players by the ocean, and I mean, you're just like. I mean, it's just breathtaking.
And the reason that Eastwood is so prevalent or so involved in this tournament is he lives there right there on the course, but he's also is he still the mayor?
I don't believe he's the mayor of Carmel anymore.
Yeah, but at one time he's mayor, but he sort of kept that tournament alive after Bing Crosby left, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's several celebrities that have a home out there. They showed one yesterday that was just this huge mansion, and McCord was making jokes about how it was his house, and then afterwards he started laughing and saying that was Gene Hackman's house.
Oh, really? Who was the guy that was saying that?
Gary McCord.
Oh, yeah, McCord, yeah. Oh, yeah. He was saying that. I tell you another person.
I tell you what, if you had Gene Hackman and Clint Eastwood living on the same golf course, that's 2 of my favorite actors of all time.
They are good. They are good. And, hey, I was building.
Gene Hackman in Hoosiers is one of the best roles ever.
Oh, it was a great. Hey, listen, Mike. I love to come up with these little one-liners. I was building a house. What show was that?
Oh, I don't know.
I was building a house, and the guy's got a shotgun on his throat. You remember that was one of the great Unforgiven. Well, I bet I've seen Unforgiven. I bet I've seen it 10 times. You know what I'm talking about?
You've probably seen it more than that if it's on TV all the time.
No, well, maybe more than that. But did you see Unforgiven?
Yeah, but it's been years. I can't remember.
Oh God, that was one of his great portrayals right there. And of course, let's mention a few of his portrayals. We're talking about Clint Eastwood. Well, probably the all-time favorite is Jody Wells, isn't it?
Outlaw Jesse Wells.
Yeah.
Outlaw Jesse Wells, Pale Rider.
Yeah, Pale Rider was a good one. Was that when they painted the town red?
I can't remember. You always talk about that painted the town red movie.
Preacher. Do you remember that? Preacher. Because hey, just think how many we could just go on and on and on.
I like Gran Torino. That's one he's had out more recently.
Well, yeah, but
one of my favorites. And then I really like the one with him and Morgan Freeman and the girl's a boxer. I can't think of that.
Oh yeah. Probably another one of the great sayings in his show. Just make my day. Just make my day. You remember that?
Yeah.
And of course, all of those old westerns. I loved it, man. I love the music. Those are some of the great movies of all time in my book.
Yeah, I mean, they don't, I have to say, any movie Eastwood's in, I've always tried to watch. He's one of my favorites.
Gosh, we could go on and on and on about him. And you know what? He doesn't win a lot of Academy Awards, and I can't understand it. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I think he's won a lot that he's directed.
He doesn't seem like he wins them like a lot of these guys do. And to me, I would say right now, if there was a vote, and this would be fun, this would be really fun. But I know he's a top 5 actor, maybe a top 3, wouldn't you say?
I mean, Gene Hackman was also Lex Luthor in the Superman movies I remember growing up.
And everything, he portrays in the same way with Eastwood, everybody likes, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Mike, I was at the gala this weekend and had a ball, and of course, congratulations to the College Senior Center. They did it again. Christy, you're unreal, girl. Let me tell you, Mike, if you ever wanted to have something, an event, and make sure that it's a success, just call Christy Pinkert up with and her husband Benny. Boy, they know how to do it, and that was another top-ranked program, the gala event, the Mardi Gras gala event. And let me tell you this: your mama and I's ticket on the raffle, we were number 6 to the end. And we didn't know it.
To win 10,000 or what?
Well, to win 12,000. And
wow.
We were number 6 to be pulled out. So what happened was,
y'all just turned around and gave that back to charity?
Well, we were. Gosh, what are you talking about? We didn't win, Mike.
No, I said y'all would have just gave that to charity if y'all would.
Oh yeah. Surely we would have gave it back. Surely, but when it comes down to the top 5, they call everybody down and they make a decision on whether they want to split it or they want to move forward. And we were in the top 6 and we were pulled, so we didn't win anything. But that was.
Well, let's be honest. You won a Jeep about 4 years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and was proud of it. But I would have been excited to know that I was 6, and thank goodness I didn't know, because I would have probably gotten real excited. And sure enough, they pulled our name in the top 5 down. I know of a few people that won one. One of them is a lady that's going to be walking in here in a few minutes. She split the 4 people split the. I'm thinking this is right. 4 people split the $12,000, and when
is she gonna need security in and out of the building?
No, I don't think so. I don't think she'll need security. But it was a great event, another wonderful time. I saw a lot of people. Boy, gosh, that place was packed, and it was a lot of fun. And if you
had a bunch of colleagues come out of the woodworks to be there?
Yeah, a lot of them. Michael D. was there. Hey, he's the most handsome guy in the arena, Mike, was Michael D.
Was he the most eligible bachelor there?
Yeah, probably was. I saw a few of them. Saw my good buddy William Johnson, and I saw Steve Flowers was walking around out there. I saw Steve, and we really had a good time, and I hope everybody that went enjoyed it like I did. And food was great. The band was good. The atmosphere was just outstanding, and I left at a little after 10, maybe 10:30 at the latest. And I know there was a lot of partying left to go.
Well, a big win by Troy men's and women's basketball teams. They bounced back after losses on Thursday. Must win by the men's team. I guess Jordan Bernardo, I guess I was wrong thinking he was suspended. I guess he said he was recovering from a concussion.
From a concussion. Hopefully he'll play on that.
For them to get a win without Bernardo, I guess it's good. Johnson and Hicks almost scored 20 points each, and Troy won by 5, and then the ladies, I think, made 14 three-pointers.
Oh, boy.
And won on the road at Arkansas State, but at least Troy got one win. Of course, they need to get 2 at home, but it's one of those situations where your star player's out. I guess it's just good to get one. The guy's averaging 29 points a game in the Sun Belt.
He's the hottest player in college basketball, wouldn't you think? I doubt if anybody else is shooting like that.
I mean, especially in conference play.
Yeah.
Of course, Alabama had a huge road victory against Vanderbilt, a place they haven't won since, I think, 1991 or something.
That is the most up and down team in the world. How do you figure Alabama?
Well, Alabama's playing great right now. They won against Georgia at home, won against Vandy.
Who is this young phenom that everybody's talking about? What's his name?
They got the kid out of Hazel Green High School that should be playing high school ball. The guy who graduated early. His name's Kyra Lewis. He's only 17 years old.
Boy, he's a good one, isn't he?
He's averaging over 14 a game.
Somebody told me they've got another player coming up right now that's going to be good at Hazel Green. Is that right?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. That's a really good high school up in North Alabama.
Oh, all right, right now the top player in the state's the kid at Mountain Brook, or where is he?
Yeah, the Wofford kid.
And is he a senior?
Yeah, he's a senior.
And Mountain Brook is probably going to win it all, or what do you think?
I mean, they're undefeated. they're not undefeated, but they've been number 1 in the state all year.
Let's look and see how they've got them ranked.
Mountain Brook played in a tournament up north somewhere. I can't remember where they played it, but they beat the number 1 team in the country at one time.
Did they really? Mountain Brook did?
Yeah.
You know why they did? They pressed them. I'm sure they pressed them.
Yeah, they played 40 minutes like Noah Richardson used to do.
Yeah. All right, here we go right now. Enterprise, this is girls, though. Let me see. Now, boys, Enterprise is still trying to win that tournament. The Alabama Independent Schools have their tournament starts this week, and I saw their great coach, Mike Pike Liberal's great coach, at the party. He was having a good time.
Yeah, I know they're excited. I know they've got a little one on the way, so he's got a lot to look forward to.
No question about it. And
Coach Ponder coaches basketball and baseball.
Yeah, isn't that unusual? He's coaching basketball, and then he runs out and coaches baseball. The baseball field right behind the gym. And boy, he's the busiest guy, and a lot of his players now also are baseball players. I'm sure after they shoot their free throws, he says, "All right, guys, go get your batting practice." They've got some outstanding athletes, but one of them is this guy named Cody Hollis, Mike. And he is a solid player. He's not only a great football player, he's a great basketball player, he's a great baseball player. He probably could be a great golfer. He probably is, and I just don't know it.
Yeah, they've got some good young players out there, a lot of talent. I imagine in the next few years they're going to have some really good teams.
Yeah. Here's a little bit of a rundown. The boys, the Pike Liberal Arts boys, will play the winner of the Morgan Uh, well, the winner of the Pike Liberal Arts Morgan game will play the winner of the Bessemer Lee Scott game. So that's going to be on. Let's see when it. I reckon it starts. No, it's later on in the week. Later on in the week, I think it starts on Friday. So we're looking way ahead of things. But I was wanting to see where some of these teams are. Another one, Abbeville Christian and Sparta are still in the tournament. Also in 7A boys Enterprise, as we mentioned earlier, will play the winner of the Phoenix City Smith Station game, and that should be a good one. Mike, I had a real good visit yesterday or Saturday with the Troy baseball team. They had their Meet the Trojans, and they invited all the a lot of, I would say all of the season ticket guys. You know, I've been buying season tickets for, shoot, no telling, 20, 30 years. I don't know, maybe 40. I don't know. I know this. I've supported the baseball program and got to meet all these kids. And I tell you, and you know, we interviewed Mark Smart on our show. And ladies and gentlemen, you folks that saw it had to be impressed with the kind of interview he is. Well, he spoke again for this group, and he is one of the better speakers around. And I know he doesn't have a lot of time to do it, but if you wanted a great speaker for your club or organization, Mark Smart would be a good one, I'm telling you.
Well,
I'm sure he might be sitting at home watching this show saying, "Oh, wait a minute, but I'm busy.
I mean, he's got a great passion for Troy athletics.
Oh, he really does.
A long time. Of course, I'd like to during basketball season. Surely we can set this up before the tournament starts to maybe get Coach Maestri on. You know, of course, he's retired now, living up in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it would be.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to have him on and talk about basketball and old Troy stories and talk about Daryl Thomas, who's going into the Hall of Fame. I'm sure Coach Maestri's excited about that.
No question about it. And, you know, I was looking and walking through the Hall of Fame at Troy this weekend. And, of course, the Hall of Fame in baseball is located right there at Riddle Pace Field. And I watched every one of those guys play. And it really, I love the way they did that because it's so visible. It's so visible. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, man, I would pay if one night they had like a storytellers of old coaches. You had Coach Maestri, Coach Blakeney.
I know. Wouldn't that be something? That would be great, wouldn't it?
And, you know, Mark Smart. I would love to hear all these old stories again.
Oh, gosh. You know, that's a good idea. That'd be a great idea for a fundraiser. And, of course, we lost Mary John Bird, the wife of Sim Bird, this past week, and that was been a.
I hate to hear that. I knew her well.
And she was a very nice lady and a very classy lady, and of course our prayers and our thoughts go out to that family. Of course, we also are talking about softball. Now, hear this. Now, you're not gonna believe this when I say this.
Oh, yeah. How did
there were close
do?
to 3,000 people at the Alabama-Troy softball game. Hey, and listen, they don't have probably but about 1,000 seats, but I'm telling you, there was close to 3,000 people at that event, and they were parked almost to my house, which is all the way down to the end of Elm Street, going up Crow Hill, whatever. They were parked that far down. Can you believe that?
Well, I mean, we talk about it all the time. They probably need extra parking.
Hey, they do. And everybody I heard said, man, y'all got to do something about this. And, you know, now a lot of people say, well, they don't do this every night. But I'm going to tell you this. For that tournament, I don't know how many thousands of people totally watched that tournament. But I bet it might have been 10,000 total, you know, turnout.
Let me guess. Troy did not beat Alabama.
No, they did not. Except for one thing, Troy's pitcher and Alabama's pitcher had a no-header, header going for 3 innings, and then Alabama erupted. Alabama threw a pitcher at Troy on Friday night, Mike, and listen to this. had only given up 10 runs in her whole senior season. 10 runs total in the whole season. That's pretty impressive.
Her junior season?
Yeah, in high school. Her senior season in high school.
Oh, in high school.
Of course, she beat Troy. Troy scored off of her, though. Troy lost the first game 7-1 and lost the game on Sunday. And I'm sure there was a big crowd on Sunday, 8-0. But Troy played them tough for a while there. Troy beat Maryland, I want to say twice, and they beat Murray State once. So I think Troy was 3-2 on the tournament. I was very impressed with Troy and very proud of them. They really played well in that big tournament held right here in Troy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the more beautiful venues for a softball, complex you'll ever see. It's kind of an interesting spot where they decided to put it. Troy had a lot of land and ended up settling on that spot, but it's a nice setting for a softball game.
No question about it. Of course, this show is probably...
if you're a sorority player and you played softball, I guess you could just go back to your house right across the street after the game.
That's right. And, of course, great turnout. And now the game on Saturday, the basketball game on Saturday, Troy made it interesting, down the stretch. They led by, I want to say 13 or 14 points with about 4 minutes left and almost blew it. But they then, they shot well down the stretch, and that was a big win.
Well, unfortunately, the other night they're up at the half, and you only let a team shoot 80%, score 54 points in the second half. Still very discouraged on Troy's defense. They just do not guard whatsoever. Almost gave up 80 points again. Anytime you're giving up over 80 points a game in conference play, it's just going to be hard to win. And then when you got to make the trip they got to make this week, it's going to be almost impossible to win a game when you got to go to Georgia State and to Georgia Southern.
Yeah, Mike, I want you to understand.
That kid from Georgia Southern owns Troy. Tootie Brown has been a Troy,
And that's going to be on national TV. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Wednesday night on national TV, so that's going to be a lot of fun to watch that game. That would be a great trip to go to Atlanta. I know everybody says traffic.
I tell you what, man, it's never a great trip to go to Atlanta anymore. I do not want anything to do with Atlanta. That traffic just gives me a headache.
It is crazy. It is crazy, but at the same time, if you could get over there and get situated, you could go to the giant, visit some of the hot spots of Atlanta. But one of those is the aquarium. A lot of people around here probably have never been to that aquarium. It's one of the best in the world. Did you know that?
Yeah, they have the beluga whales.
Yeah. Auburn has listed athletics post record revenue. This is the difference in Troy and Alabama and Auburn and Tennessee and the big boys. Auburn's athletic department reported a record revenue of $147 million during the 2017-2018 fiscal year. This total is approximately $109,000 more than the previous record. Can you believe that?
Well, I mean, that's not counting all the money they make from SEC, TV tie-ins and stuff with the SEC Network and CBS and ESPN.
It marked the sixth straight year that there's been an increase. And boy, I tell you what, to go from 109,000 to 147,000, pretty impressive, isn't it? But that's the big difference in that league and people like Troy is money. They have so much more money than Troy has, and people like Troy,
Well, I mean, it's just like Coach Lindsey said. We're going to have to do it on a Sun Belt budget.
That's right.
I mean, Neil Brown said the same thing when he was here. He was making comments at the West Virginia press conference the other day that he said now we're able to do it with money.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I know he hired 14. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. He took 14 players and personnel with him to West Virginia. Is that right?
14 players? I've not heard any players.
No, 14. Took 14 coaches and personnel with him to
I hadn't seen 14 coaches. I've seen 6.
I didn't say 14 coaches, 14 coaches and administrative personnel.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's in the tens. I didn't think it was 14.
Yeah, counting them all. We're talking about people that work in the weight room and a bunch of people like that too.
Did he take Miss Judy? Miss Judy Morgan?
No, Miss Judy didn't go, but she would have if she could have. Probably. No, I'm saying she would have if it had been closer to us. No, well, listen, Miss Judy's a Troy person, Mike. We are Troy.
Of course, going to be interesting to see, Neil Brown and his staff, how it translates to the Big 12. I'm definitely going to be pulling for them. It's one of those situations, I guess, I kind of have a new team in the Big 12.
And it's going to be fun to root for him, no question about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, it's one of those type things.
Yeah.
I think Troy's got a really good coach, Coach Lindsey, and I think he's got a good staff. And I think it's one of those situations where when it's all said and done, Neil Brown's going to be really successful at West Virginia, and who knows, he might end up back in the state of Alabama one day if something doesn't go better at Auburn.
No question about it. And, of course, like I said so many times since we've hired Chip Lindsey, I am tickled pink with that hire. And they are very, very similar people, very similar coaches. I mean, you couldn't have gone and got a...
The only difference is Neil Brown had no high school background.
That's right.
Always in college. Chip Lindsey was in high school and then got into college coaching.
That's right. And he's already, like from the North Alabama, you said something about it the other day. How is Troy getting all these players from North Alabama? Well, it's what they call, the big word.
It's called connections.
Connections,
played Bob Jones.
And exactly, it's connections. And the word is not connections, but what is the word? Relationships. All you see now, you hear all the time, it's all about relationships. And you think about it, it is. I was talking to the defensive coordinator.
Your connections lead to relationships.
Yeah. Mike, I was talking to this guy, the new defensive coordinator at Troy, who took over from a great coach like
You're talking about Brandon Hall.
Yeah. And boy, what an impressive guy he was. And had his daughter with him, and daughter goes to Troy, and he's lived here for a year, and I never really got to know him. I really didn't know him very well. But we started talking about Haystack and people that used to be at Troy that are now coaching different places, and they all are friends. They all have been together. This guy was with Haystacks at Jacksonville State for a little while. And of course,
I don't see how that's possible though. He was only at Jacksonville State for 4 years, and Haystack had been gone. Haystack was with Jack Crow. Haystack left to go to Lafayette with Mark Huspath, and he was already a defense coordinator at Lafayette way before Hall got.
Well, maybe I was. We had this same conversation the other day where you told me off about.
No, I didn't tell you off. I just know Haystack's career. I know.
Well, and Haystack played here, and we're talking, and he's now the defensive coordinator at South Alabama. Somebody told me that South Alabama has had a lot of changeover recently.
Yeah, they got 12 guys in the transfer portal.
Man, that is something. Well, just told them that.
You got to remember before Gross took the job, Bill Clark and the great Chuck Dunn were coaching at Jack State.
That's right. And but but what we're saying here, are we talking about coaches or are we talking about players?
Well, no, I mean I'm just talking about as far as the Jack State timeline.
Yeah. But at South Alabama, though, did they have a lot of players leaving, or what happened?
Yeah, they had a bunch of guys who were in the transfer portal. So what that means is if they get into the NCAA portal and other coaches from around the country can contract them about possibly.
That is almost a record, isn't it? 12 or 13. How many is it? 12?
Well, what that tells you right there is those guys didn't buy into their system, didn't buy into what they believe, and they were basically trying to show them the door.
And this is a Troy, Troy type staff in it. A lot of these guys coached.
Well, you mean you got Kenny Edenfield, you got Steve Campbell's the head coach, and then you got Craig Stewart.
Craig Stewart
is the defense coordinator. So yeah,
Edenfield. You mentioned Edenfield's son. He's on that staff too, I think.
I would say that that's a pretty good Troy connection when the head coach and both your coordinators are Troy graduates.
Yeah.
Are all three Troy players. My bad.
Yeah. And but I tell you what, though, watch that program now. You know, he
told you point blank that if you wanted to change over in Montgomery one night, he was ready to bring you in.
Yeah, I know.
Alabama.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and of course all the Troy guys, and I
remember that night. Coach Campbell was really funny. Coach Saban was walking around. It was after they'd won the national championship. And Coach Saban's just going around shaking hands left and right. I mean, he shook our hands a couple times. We talked to him.
That's right, yeah.
Coach Campbell leaned over there and told Coach Saban, he said, "You remember me, Coach? I'm the one that sent you Terrence Cody. He was a pretty good player, wasn't he?" And Coach Saban said, "Yeah, he was a great player." I remember that. Cody, of course, was the huge nose guard that played for Alabama.
Yeah. Well, how did he
played for Campbell at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College.
That's right. He won a national championship there, didn't he?
Yeah, but Cody won a national championship with Saban, too.
Yeah. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar for dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Max Federal Credit Union on the bypass right here in Troy. Want to mention also our good friends at Dixieland Dental, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. Want to say good morning to Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise, who make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. Want to mention also our good friends at Bird Drugs, now serving the best bacon in the land. Kelly's Bacon from downtown Troy. Delicious breakfast being served at Bird Drugs. Also, Mike, I wanted to mention what a great meal I had at Sisters this weekend. Boy, I tell you, they had a lot of people there, but they moved the people in and out. That's the big difference. In having huge crowds for lunch or dinner, if they are able to move them out. And I was down at Mossy Grove this weekend, and another jam-packed crowd of people. But I tell you what, I don't know what.
This weekend.
I'll just say this: if you're in the restaurant business in Troy, Alabama, you're making money. don't you think?
Well, they're making money from the Amos family.
Well, I just know this: the crowds are that big, but the thing about it, especially Monster Grove, they move them in and out. When they get through eating, people don't just sit around. They get up and leave, and another group comes in. But I've never seen that.
If there was like a ratings for VIP customers in restaurants in Troy, that the Amoses would have to be up there.
Oh yeah, no question. Through the turmoil, Charles Henderson has kept playing and winning. Says the writer, this writer from the Dothan Eagle this morning, and they've been talking about this basketball team. They're good with or without Davenport, Mike. What they say?
Well, if that was the case, they want to try to get her eligible. I think they're better with Davenport.
Oh, I think so too. Somebody asked me the other day about her.
A lot of people don't realize that this is the honest God truth. I've talked to Coach Jones numerous times. These girls practice against grown men. That's who they scrimmage against. They bring in men to play them.
And they beat them?
Well, I mean, that's who they practice against. I know that's a known fact. They practice grown men.
So you think they're seasoned and ready to go?
Well, I mean, that just tells you something. I mean, that's the level of competition they go against.
Well, I know this, Tuda, and I get these. They have some of the hardest names to pronounce. They have some of the hardest names in the world to pronounce. And what did you say? How'd you pronounce it?
Is it Tuda or Tootie?
I don't know. It's one of the two. But she is the girl that brings it down and is their point guard. And she's
Coach Jones' daughter.
Coach Jones' daughter. And she is a fabulous ball handler, a beautiful shooter, but a great free throw shooter. I would almost say that the Charles Henderson girls basketball team might be the best free throw shooting team in town, and that includes the men at Troy and the women at Troy. Can you believe that?
I've seen her shoot. She is really good.
The whole team shoots well at the free throw line, and why not? Drive to the basket and either score or get fouled or both. You know what I mean?
You got to think, though, this is a lot of pressure on Coach Jones. We're having more Davenport and, the Siler girl, the Jones, her daughter. I mean, all these great players, and only one state championship to show for it so far. If they didn't win the state championship this year, you would have to say it would be a disappointment, that they didn't accomplish more. Of course, they lost one state championship with a minute left. Winona came back and beat them. Charles Henderson's up by 5 points and squanders that game to Winona. They should have They should have 2 state championships right now.
Yeah. Well, there's no question about it.
Wouldn't you say that, though? That would be a disappointment to only have one?
Yeah, that's right.
One state championship with this much talent?
That's right. You're exactly right. That's something I'm sure a lot of people looked at.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's a lot of pressure on Coach Jones and their staff.
Yeah. But there's some
kind of like the Braves. A lot of people, of course, I'm a huge Braves fan, not as much as I used to be, but when I was a kid growing up, the Braves, went to the playoffs every year and won the division every year, and only have one World Series to show for it. I always say that the Braves totally underachieved, only winning one World Series.
Yeah. All right, they've got a real good article, and I tell you, Montgomery Advertiser. I don't know if you noticed this or not, Mike, but their sports page is getting better and better. They're giving you some information that you don't normally see, but it says the title is how the projected top 25 fared on signing day. It says every team gets better on National Signing Day, if only because it's impossible to get worse. But some teams get better than others, led by those programs that annually top the national recruiting rankings: Alabama, Georgia, Texas, and the like. For those teams pegged to contend for national honors, signing day can often yield the sort of a single player or position player upgrade the means for why they are ranked up at the top. USA Today sports early top 25 is this. Alabama number 1. Notable is the defensive end Antonio Alfano from New Jersey. What makes this guy so good? He was joined by another 8 defensive linemen ranked among the nation's top 255 by 247 Sports, and is considered among the best classes of Saban's era. Can you believe that?
Yeah, the guy from New Jersey you're talking about, 6'4", 285. He's already on campus. Since he's been on campus, they said he's already gained 15 pounds of muscle.
Oh gosh, of course he's from Colonia, New Jersey.
They say he's a man-child. They said he'll play immediately.
All right, he's from New Jersey. Clemson is the number.
When you're a 5-star, what that basically means when you're a 5-star is that means you're ready to play immediately.
Yeah. All right, Clemson was ranked number 2 in recruiting. Notable addition is the wide receiver Joe Nagja from Folsom, California. That's where the song comes from. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Folsom Prison Blues.
That's right, from Folsom, California.
But, I never saw Clemson. Clemson was number 10 in all the recruiting polls I saw. They're saying number 5.
They said projected on signing day, the top 25. The rich get
on signing day. I mean, signing day is already over. This should be.
I know. This is the result of it. It says the rich get richer.
I've never seen Clemson in the top 5 in any recruiting polls.
All right, it says right here, the rich get richer as Nagata, several others joined what was already the nation's top receiver groups. So they get another great receiver.
So this is talking about receivers groups.
Well, no, the top, this is from this one, two.
What is this? What is this recruiting site called?
This is the 247 Sports group.
247 Sports. I saw Clemson 10th.
Well, Georgia was ranked 3rd.
See, Georgia was 2nd. And what I saw, and A&M was 3rd.
Okay, well, why don't you go find your own newspaper and tell me what you think?
I'm just saying that this doesn't seem right with the numbers I'm hearing.
Well, okay.
Rankings.
Well, right now, this is how the projected top 25 fared on signing day. And this is what we're talking about. All right, did you think Georgia was up there in the top 3 or 4?
Georgia was 2nd in every.
All right, it says they got even better when they got George Pickens, the kid from Hoover. That was a big signee, getting away from Auburn right there, the last.
Yeah, he's a 5-star.
All right, a notable.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense, him and Bo Nix apparently were like really close and had a great relationship, and he decides to go to Georgia at the last second.
All right, Oklahoma got Spencer Rattler, and Alabama transfer Jalen Hurts will be the starter, but Rattler can ascend into the top backup role as a freshman. Have you ever heard of this Rattler kid, Spencer Rattler from Phoenix, Arizona?
I've not.
Well, all right, you did now. Texas got a great player, Brew McCoy, out of Santa Ana, California. And, of course, Cliff Kingsbury's brief stay at Southern Cal helped them get that guy. But it helped Texas get him. Excuse me.
What happened was Kingsbury was the offense coordinator at USC.
That's right.
And he had recruited this guy, and then when Kingsbury left to take over the Arizona Cardinals job, this guy switched and went to Texas.
And then Ohio State, this might be the top 25 players out there, whatever, but Ohio State, says here they ranked 6th, and they got Zach Harrison, the big defensive end, out of Lewis Center, Ohio, considered a 5-star, one of the top players at any position. And
this sounds like maybe the top 25 players overall.
Yeah. And then here is a kid that got away from Alabama, Dax Hill, the safety out of Tulsa. Formerly an Alabama commitment, is a potential difference maker at Michigan. And then, of course, number 8 was cornerback Derek Stingley, the kid out of Baton Rouge that's going to LSU. These, all except for maybe Clemson, Mike, this sounds like the top 25 on recruiting, don't you think?
I mean, it says, top 25 players overall, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
Well, maybe so, but it says, projected top 25. How they say it? Maybe it was talking about.
What about the running back, the top running back in the country, the son of Alabama? Is he on there, Trey Sanders?
No, he's not on there. And where is he from?
IMG Academy.
Yeah, I got you. Notre Dame got a safety out of Atlanta that is considered one of the best in the country. Washington got a defensive lineman out of Honolulu. Much like Alabama, the Huskies signing class is headed by an eventual crop of defensive linemen. Everybody wants to recruit defensive linemen. Texas A&M got the big offensive tackle Kenyon Green out of Humble. They think he is a rare player and will star as a freshman, they said. But now they say the best player in the country now, a lot of people say this, is a kid at Oregon, the defensive end named Tobodrick, out of Westlake Village, California, is considered one of the great ones to come out of this year's draft. Not draft, but signing. Central Florida had a quarterback, Mike. His name is Dylan Gabriel out of Miami. He's another one of them out of Hawaii. And he is undersized, they said, super productive quarterback from Hawaii who fits the same scheme as those other guys out of Hawaii. So if you can sign a quarterback out of Hawaii, man, you're up there with the best. Is that right?
Well, I mean, so far as quarterback Mackenzie Milton's from Hawaii.
Is he from Hawaii too?
Yeah, he is.
All right, now they get this guy named Dylan Gabriel. Boy, they're manufacturing quarterbacks, aren't they?
Well, a lot of people think Mackenzie Milton, he suffered a devastating knee injury where there was nerve damage. Will not play next year, but they also got Winbush, the starting quarterback at Notre Dame early in the season, was transferred to Central Florida.
Yeah. Another guy that slipped through Alabama was the big defensive end from Southwest Florida. He's out of Fort Lauderdale. His name is Chris Bogle, and Dan Mullen pulled him away from Alabama, making this signee even better. Boy, now we've already talked about three players that some people were able to get away from Alabama. Just think how good their recruiting year would have been.
Well, I mean, they're still number one or without them.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. If these three that I've just mentioned, who are just all everything it looks like, that left Alabama at the end, do you reckon that Alabama put so much emphasis on this recruiting that it sort of intimidates some of these kids? Does that sound right?
Yeah, a lot of this had to do with the coaches leaving.
Yeah, that's right.
Alabama lost 7 coaches, and these guys didn't want to go play.
That's right.
At Alabama because the coach that recruited them wasn't there anymore.
And that guy that recruited him had talked to him every day and every night for the last 6, 8 months, when you say, or 2 or 3 years. Isn't it amazing?
I was going to mention this too. Former Troy great. Of course, he was coaching for the Oakland Raiders. Derek Ansley. Reports are he interviewed for the Troy job. So I don't know how far that went before if he got a second interview or just one interview for the Troy job. But he was coaching for John Gruden and the Raiders, but apparently he decided pro football wasn't his thing, and he has gone back to Tennessee where he coached before and will be the new secondary coach under Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee.
Oh, man. Well, I tell you what, he's a big name, and he's from Tallahassee, Alabama. And congratulations. Troy's got a lot of...
Remember that name, Derek Ansley, down the road.
Yeah, no question.
The guy that's been at Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, the Oakland Raiders. He's a young guy, so, hopefully Chip Lindsey's going to do what Neil Brown did and, win, 31 games in 3 years and and he's going to be a hot commodity. And you never know. Derek Ansley might be one of those names down at to be the head coach of Troy one day.
Yeah. I want to mention also a young man out of everybody's looking at Nebraska and Scott Frost, and you can tell Nebraska got better as the season went on.
Yeah, they got a lot better. I tell you what, I watched them against Ohio State and Iowa, and they played them straight up.
And now they're getting what they call a do-everything offensive weapon in Wendell Robertson out of Frankfort, Kentucky. Who would ever thought?
You know, when Scott Frost first got there, he had to say, "Man, I have so much more speed at Central Florida than Nebraska."
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sure you said that. No question about it. And another top player in the country signed with Wisconsin. His name's Graham Mertz. He's is one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the country. And you look at Wisconsin, and they're pretty darn good, especially on both sides of the ball. Got the big offensive and defensive lines, and all they need is some speed and some talent on the offensive side. And they look like they got it with this guy right here. But I thought it was a pretty good look at the way some of these guys recruited, and it shows that Alabama not only was number one in the country in recruiting, but lost 3 of the top players in the country to other teams right at the very end. So just think how good their recruiting class was going to be.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting to see. I guess going forward, how many Alabama coaches stay on for this next coming season, because Alabama's going to be really good again, but I think this year the coaches they brought in were a little older. They're good recruiters and they're good just day-to-day coaches on the field. So
I've heard this.
I think Saban's got the balance he wants now, and then he's got Sal Sinceri back. He's got Benny Sinceri, and he's got Sal's other son that started at quarterback at Pittsburgh, Tito Sinceri. So 3 Sinceri.
Hey, isn't that amazing? No question about it.
I tell you what, you talking about connections. That's connections when you get 2 sons hired on the staff.
Yeah, you're right. No question about it. It's for fun time, and I know really recruiting is a second season. You got football season, then recruiting, then basketball, and then baseball. Wouldn't you say that?
I tell you what, man, after that recruiting's over with, I imagine a lot of those coaches go down to the beach and take a vacation.
Yeah, exactly. No question about it. Of course, we're looking at high school basketball tournaments are fixing to really start moving around, and a lot of these games will be played at different venues. I was looking at 5A, where Charles Henderson will be playing their region.
I think Pike County men are still in it too.
Yeah. And I'm thinking that these tournaments, most of these, let's see, the places that will host these regional sites is the Acadome in Montgomery. The Southeast will be at the Garrett Coliseum in Montgomery. Oh, man. Now, I don't know if this is girls and boys, but all right, here we go. The boys' sites are Southwest region is at the Acadome in Montgomery. The Southeast is at Garrett Coliseum in Montgomery. Now, Troy turned this down, Mike. I've heard that they had a chance, but they just turned down this. The Northwest is at Wallace State College in Hanceville. You've been there before. And the Northeast is at Jacksonville State. So that's where.
So you're telling me the Mobile schools have no regional, and they have to come all the way up to Montgomery at least?
That's exactly right, and that's sad.
Well, the Alabama High School Athletic Association, that's a joke. How in the world do they not play like Alabama or somewhere down there?
I'm looking at it right now. The Mobile group, yes, is going to play.
That is no respect for Mobile schools.
The Southwest is located.
I thought they used to go to Dothan at least.
You're exactly right. They've got to come all the way to Montgomery. Baker, Mobile playing Fairhope, McGill Tulane versus Theodore. So it's amazing how this is working out now. So really, you look at it, Montgomery's got 2 regions. You know, if you look at it, one of them at Garrett Coliseum, and the other one's at the Acadome. Isn't that amazing? And then Jacksonville State had one. Troy has turned it down. I don't think that's not a good move for Troy. Do you think? I would have thought hosting a regional.
I worked in the athletic department back when I was in college, and
it's
that
a
was
job.
one of the most fun events I was able to work with the high school basketball.
Oh yeah, and it would have brought a lot of revenue to Troy, Alabama. Evidently, the Chamber of Commerce, evidently the city fathers and the Chamber of Commerce weren't in on all this, or they would have definitely said, please host that region.
Especially when Central Phoenix City was playing Jeff Davis, and we had people going through the bathroom windows to get in there.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just tell you the teams that we would have lost, and these are some of the games that we. First of all, we would have the Southeast would have had Jeff Davis and Central Phoenix City. This is in girls, and then Auburn and Enterprise. They would have had Austin. Let's see here. They would have had Leah Montgomery and Smith Station, Central Phoenix City and Enterprise. Still moving down the line. The Southeast. Park Crossing and Eufaula, Dothan and Carver, Montgomery. Don't you know they would have brought a lot of folks to this area? Pelham at Opelika, Benjamin Russell at Chelsea. Looking on down the line, Valley, Fairfax and Charles Henderson, Carroll of Ozark and Brubaker Tech. You know what I'm saying? You know, some of these things would have.
You know, if it wasn't for
Briarwood and at Sylacauga and Munford, they would have had Briarwood come to Troy. Can you believe that?
If it wasn't for college graduation at Troy University, there's a really almost 100% chance there's seats in Trojan Arena that have never been set in.
Yeah, and at Ramsey, Munford at Ramsey, and these a lot of these teams would have been coming to Troy, and Alabama Christian.
When Troy played Mississippi State to open that new arena, I was not there. You were there, I believe.
Yeah.
Was that a legit sellout? Was that really 5,200?
I don't think it was a legit sellout. No, I don't think they've. I don't
always
think
claimed that was the only sellout in Troy basketball history.
Well, I'm not going to argue with them, but I don't think so. Goshen and Sampson and Abbeville, all of these are playing for these sub-regionals and these all these teams in the sub-regionals. All of them won't make it to the regional tournament, but a lot of them will. So, gosh, it's a lot of excuses. Of course, it's a lot of work and a lot of a lot of involvement that you would have to go through to host one of these regions. But Jacksonville State's been doing it every year. Wallace of Hanceville, of course, they would be wanting to do it. That's a junior college in Hanceville, Alabama. Mike.
I tell you what, though, it's not junior college facilities. Their facilities are nicer than a lot of Division I, AA, and Division II schools.
Yeah, you're right. And of course, the others are Southwest. You know, evidently a lot of other schools didn't want it either because Southwest region is at the Acadome in Montgomery at Alabama State, and Garrett Coliseum is hosting the other one, the Northwest. That is amazing. And then, of course,
I can understand Auburn and Alabama and Troy, though. I mean, you want to practice. You don't want to have to deal with that issue as far as practice and stuff
You're
like
right.
that.
But it would have brought a ton of folks to Troy, Alabama, which is good for our economy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those
and excuse me, let me just tell you the whole truth, ladies and gentlemen. It would have made a lot of basketball fans happy. You know, a lot of fans in our area would have loved to go to Troy to watch that tournament.
Well, it's one of those things where I guess if you experienced it like we did, you know, years and years ago, you're definitely, you know, passionate about what it was. It was amazing to see the talent that came through Troy through that tournament.
Yeah, Mike.
I'll never forget during that Jeff Davis Central game, I was out there throwing the basketballs out to him, warming up, and I think 5 guys off that Jeff Davis team ended up playing major college basketball.
Well, that was the heaviest, like you said, that was the heaviest sellout.
Brian Williams at Alabama.
They had to actually.
The Spencer kid that played for Guthrie at Murray State and went to the NCAA tournament like 2 or 3 times. I mean, there were some loaded rosters.
And there were people coming in through the bathroom window. I saw it with my own eyes. And the thing about it, that was the hardest sellout maybe in the history of Troy, Alabama, where the fire marshal came
Standing room
in.
marshal, yeah, standing
The
room
fire
only.
marshal came in and said, "No more, no more." And they had all kinds of problems with it because a lot of those Montgomery people could not get in the game.
And also, it came down to the wire too. It was
Yeah.
a great game. I remember.
Oh yeah. Well, and basketball tournaments are a fun thing. And again,
You can only hope that Troy will get hot and the girls will stay hot, and you can go down to New Orleans and see about 3 or 4 days of basketball here in Florida.
Potentially this Troy team has got a chance to really do well. I tell you who's playing well, Mike, is the guard out of Montgomery. Is such a good free throw shooter for Troy.
Yeah, Darren Adams has really stepped up the last.
He's starting to
3 or
shoot
4
the three,
games.
and then this kid came out of nowhere, Mike, and hit 3 threes. What was his name?
Spencer Rogers.
Spencer Rogers. Now, give me a readout on him. Who is Spencer Rogers? That's the question today.
Pure freshman out of Georgia.
And, man, he hit 3, and he's a pure freshman out of Georgia.
You know what happened? What happened was they got that guy that was so streaky shooting threes that Charles Norman got hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, and he hadn't played the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, and you're right. When he gets back, he gives them another good 3-point shooter.
Troy's biggest problem, though, is they got to guard and they've got to play defense. I mean, you've been to more basketball games than anybody listening, probably. I mean, Andy refereed God knows how many basketball games. I mean, you got. I mean, just like we say all the time. I mean, defense is about effort. You got to get up there and guard. You got to, find a way to stop the ball. I mean,
and it's too, and when it
stop it.
Yeah, and of course, Troy plays a lot of man, and then they'll play a little bit of zone. You
got to play zone though when a team's shooting lights out like they were the other night against you, don't you?
Exactly, you've got to, and get at least get a hand in their face, and of course
they should be able to block shots when you got Hicks, a legit 6'9", you got Bernardo 6'6", 6'7", great shot blockers. I mean, I just don't understand why they don't play better defense.
Yeah. All right, tell us what Troy's schedule looks like. Now, on Wednesday, we're going to be on national TV, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not Wednesday, it's Thursday, isn't it?
I think it's Wednesday.
I thought we only play on Thursday and Saturdays.
I know, but I think they're going because this game's on TV, right?
Let me look real quick. I got to go to TroyTrojan.com. I'm on my phone.
It's something that we need to know. And, of course, we're having fun this morning. I hope you are. We're talking ball. And, of course, we'll talk anything you want to talk about on our show. We still don't have the exact ruling yet on what's going to happen to whether or not Davenport will be able to play. Carolina of Ozark, the 5A girls play Brubaker, and Brubaker is 27-3, so that's a pretty going to be a pretty good test for them right there. And of course, Eufaula also in our area. They've got a big one coming up too, and we'll be watching that closely.
Yeah, you're right. They did change things up, which is strange. They're going to play on Wednesday night on ESPN Plus against Georgia State.
And that one is on TV that everybody can watch. You won't be able to chase it.
No, that's not the one on TV. The one that's going to be on TV is going to be Friday, the 15th against Georgia Southern will be on ESPN2.
All right,
so the Georgia Southern game will be on ESPN2. The Georgia State game will just be on ESPN Plus.
Okay, and how do you get?
That's one on Wednesday night. You could watch at the Troy Country Club on the computer.
I know, but why in the world is this ESPN Plus? Who in the heck are they? Because they're the hardest people in the world.
Man. It's live streaming them games. I'm able to watch all these Troy basketball games and football games because of it. I'll pay $4.99 a month to do it.
But you watch it on your telephone.
But what's $4.99 a month? I spend that to go eat a burger and fries.
Well, all right. Well, can you do that right now? How do you do it?
I mean, Steve Camp can set you up as soon as you're done today.
All right, can you send me up the bill and watch it? Would it be on my TV or on my telephone?
It's on the ESPN app.
That's on the radio, then your telephone, isn't it?
Well, I have it on my television. I have a different setup, probably than you do, but I'm able to watch the ESPN app off my television.
And so, but
that's how you watch it out the games out at the Country Club.
Okay, go ahead and tell us about it now. All right, Troy plays on Wednesday
against Georgia State.
All right, against Georgia State, big game there. Then they on Friday they play Georgia Southern. Is that right?
On ESPN2, which I think on Troy.
Oh, ESPN is number 24. It's on channel 24.
Troy HD, I think it's 502 to watch ESPN2, I believe.
Yeah, okay. But it's channel 24 on our regular channels.
Yeah, but who wants to watch channel 24 when you can watch it in HD?
Okay.
You're the only person in the world that watches on a 70-inch.
Yeah, you're right. Your poor old daddy don't even know how to change channels, does he?
Do you want a perfect picture, or do you want a shady, not clear picture?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure a lot of people like me though, Mike, because it's so much easier to switch over to channel 24.
Why don't you get Steve Camp or somebody in that studio back there to print you out all the HD channels?
I know. I need to. All right, go ahead and tell us the rest of the season.
Well, I mean, that's all I've got right now. I mean,
they'll be coming back here to play the next week because we've got the John Archer group coming in.
Troy's 4-7 in the conference, and they're looking at 4-9. It's gonna be hard to win either one of these games.
All right, they get a chance.
If you go to 4-9, basically now all the teams are not guaranteed to go to New Orleans. So they've changed it this year, where the teams at the bottom of the cellar in the Sun Belt will have to play a game either on the road at a conference team's home arena. And you're hoping Troy will be, if they're not eligible to go to New Orleans, that they'll at least get a home game to have a shot to go to New Orleans.
Would that be great? And get an extra home game? I'd love that.
It wouldn't be great for the coaching staff.
But I'd love it, though, myself. I get to go to another game, to an extra game. That'd be great, Mike.
Yeah, but you don't want that. You want to buy.
Yeah, but right now, though, we're probably going to get a bye, don't you think?
We're at the bottom of the conference. We're 4-7 right now.
Okay. But, I mean, what I'm saying, we'll get a chance to go to New Orleans, doesn't it look like?
Well, no, it's not guaranteed you go to New Orleans. You'd have to win that game either on the road or at home to get to New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, is Troy ranked
all the other teams are in. They have a bye. They go straight to New Orleans.
All right. Well, who are the teams that already get a bye then? Troy doesn't do it.
It's not determined yet. There's 8 more games to be played.
Yeah, all right. That's what I was saying. I was wanting to get
I mean, after this weekend, if Troy goes 4-9, they lose these 2 games, which, I mean, I don't want them to lose, but, you're playing Georgia Southern at Georgia Southern and Georgia State at Georgia State, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
It's just, let's be honest, this Troy team is extremely inconsistent.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to tell you about Troy.
But they play better on the road. They play at home, so you
right.
never know.
That's right. They play better on the road. And another thing, when you expect them not to play well is when they're going to play well. You watch them. They've got the best player in the mid NCAA program. Wouldn't you say that Bernardo is possibly the best player in the mid NCAA Division I teams?
He's one of the best non-power foul players. There's no doubt about it. But
right now, I can.
At the end of the day, though, man, just like we say, if you're not going to play defense, it doesn't matter.
Well, all right, yeah, you're exactly right.
Troy's proven it. I mean, he's scoring almost 30 points a game in conference, and they're 4-7 in the conference.
Yeah, no question about it.
Hey, man, I got to take these little girls.
All right, take care. Appreciate you calling this morning, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're doing well. The weather looks conducive for outdoor activity, whether you're working in your yard or whatever. It looks like a beautiful day today, maybe with a little bit of rain in the forecast, but not much. We appreciate all of our sponsors so very much. I want to mention Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram trucks on the bypass is waiting for you to come in and take advantage of some tremendous sales on new and used cars and trucks from Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep. I want to also mention my good friends at All Star Collision, located between the Ford place and the Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram place. That place has been in business in Troy for quite some time now, and it's because they do great work. And my good buddy Derek and all the great people there. So if you've got body work on your car or truck that you need to have fixed, take it to All-State Collision right here in Troy. I want to mention also Piggly Wiggly and Steve and all the great folks there. And wonderful produce. I was there last night, bought some great produce. I love the way they cut their cantaloupe. Whoever likes the way they cut their cantaloupe, you're just like me. I love cantaloupe. I like it with pepper on it, not salt, but pepper, and I can eat cantaloupe. And I love the way they cut it up in slices at Piggly Wiggly. I want to mention also Health Actions. If you need some rehab work done, they do a great job at Health Actions, located right there on the corner right before you drive up to the bar to get barbecue, or right before you get to Walmart. Health Actions, and we appreciate it very much. I want to also mention our good friends at First National Bank of Troy, Brundage, and I want to say hello to my good buddy John Ramage and Jimmy Ramage, CEO and the chairman of the board. Great people at First National Bank in Brundage, Alabama. Also, want to say hello to our good friends at the gas company, Southeast Alabama Gas District. And of course, it was so easy this morning to mash a button and have instant fire in my fireplace. It's easy, it's clean, and it's very convenient to have gas logs instead of bringing a wood fireplace. Everybody said, "Oh, you don't smell the crackling, and you don't smell or hear the crackling and smell the how good it is to sometimes when you got a real fireplace." But hey, how dirty is it? How hard it is to bring in wet wood. How many times has your wife said, "There's smoke in the house, open the doors," whatever? It's so much easier, so much cleaner, and it's just as pretty as a wood fireplace is gas today. Call them at Southeast Alabama Gas District and enjoy gas logs today. Noble Manor for assisted living, ladies and gentlemen, no question about it. Noble Manor is the place you want to go on Botts Avenue. And my good buddy is at Pike Tree Service, and I know there are a lot of limbs and a lot of trees that need to be cut down. Call him today, and he'll come out and give you an estimate of what it would cost. They're licensed and insured to do business, and they do business very well. Well, I'm going to borrow me some money from this lady that just walked in. I'm not going to mention her name, but hey, it was a great weekend for a lot of folks, and I hope you enjoyed your weekend and are expecting another great week, and we'll keep you up on what's going on, especially right here in Troy tonight. The Charles Henderson High School girls will play for the right to go to the regional championships. And then, of course, tomorrow night, Charles Henderson High School boys will play Tallahassee right here in Troy tomorrow night. So 2 back-to-back games, good high school games, and we need a lot of our support out there for the remainder of this season. Hope you've enjoyed our show. We hope to be here tomorrow morning again, bright and early, for Today in LA.